Hello and welcome to another club guide. Today we're going to take a look at the mighty Swansea. In these guides, basically what I do is have a quick overview of the club. So we look at finances, transfer budgets, wage budgets, see if we've actually got some money to spend, look at what the board expects us to achieve this season so we can keep our job, and then we'll have a quick look in the under 18s and 21s just to sort of see if there's any bright talents there, and then go a quick overview of the squad as a whole, see if there's any weak areas that we might need to strengthen, or perhaps some people we could actually sell to bring some money into the club. So let's get straight into it. So the first message you get is the message from the chairman and what sort of vision they want you to achieve in the game. So they want you to play possession football. Okay, I think that's obviously doable. As far as what they expect you to achieve this season, in the Premiership they expect you to get mid-table. In the FA Cup, 5th round, and the League Cup, 4th round. I think that's fair enough. I don't think there's anything too demanding there. Finances wise, we've got 8 million in the bank and 3.6 million to spend, so we've got a little bit of transfer budget to spend there. Currently spending 1 million on wages, and our wage budget is 1.033, so we've got 33,000 ish, depending on that. So we got maybe a room to bring in one player, but other than that you're going to have to sell to buy. So next up we're going to look in the under 18s. I'm not going to go through every player, just going to go through the brightest talents according to the Swansea scouts. So obviously there's one standout here called Liam Cullen. He's a 16-year-old winger, striker, mainly played as a striker, Welsh. The scouts really rate him. Actually looks a decent player. Two of the biggest important factors when looking at one of the youth players is work rate and determination, because they're quite important when to see if that player will then sort of hit their potential ability. If they have a low work rate and determination, they might have a 5-star potential, but they might never reach that unless you put some work into them and really help them out. But he's obviously got good determination with 16, decent work rate 13, so that's really good. Good natural fitness, acceleration, pace is okay for 16-year-olds. Sort of things like strength, stamina, they're going to grow naturally as he gets older. Good finisher, first touch is 10, composure's 11, off the ball's 9. It's a little bit low. Flair, he looks like a quality player. I think definitely try and give him some game time. Definitely a tutor. If you have one available, that would be fantastic for him, and then maybe next season give him some loan time, or even if you can get him in maybe cup games and stuff like that. But he's definitely one to look out for. So next we'll go into the under 21s. So there's one standout here. There might be a few other gems that the scouts don't rate but you do, but I'll let you discover all those, otherwise this video will be about 3 hours long. So we've got a 17-year-old winger called Daniel James, another Welsh kid. Play both sides. He's right-footed but prefers playing on the left. Runs with the ball, cuts inside from the left wing, so he could play well as an inside forward. Yep, that's what the assistant's recommending. So as an inside forward role, you can just click on any of these and it will bring up the sort of the darker blue is important stats, and the sort of greyish blue is still quite important. But he's got decent stats. His determination's 10, so not as high as the previous one we looked at, but okay work rate. Decent pace for a 17-year-old. His dribbling, his finishing, his first touch are all pretty good. His composure's 10. Good flair off the ball is 11. He looks like another very good player, and definitely someone you can tutor and concentrate on, because he could become a first-team player. So finally we'll move on to the squad itself. We'll have a look through the various different positions. So first we'll start off with the goalkeepers. We've got Lucas Fabianski and Christopher Nordvelt. Apologies if I murder names, I am famous for it, but you just have to enjoy the stupidity. So Lucas Fabianski, he's 30 years old, and he's a decent keeper. He's a decent all-round keeper. Good reflexes, good at rushing out, good at one-on-ones. That's quite nice, especially if you're playing a higher line, or like a sort of sweeper keeper. Actually, yeah, he's got decent all-round stats. And what's his distribution like? His throwing's 14, his kicking's 11, Yeah, pretty good goalkeeper. I think he'll do you a perfect job for the next couple of years. And as a backup, we've got Nordveld. He's 26 years old. He's a perfectly good backup. Is he a new signing? He is a new signing, so you can't sell him. I was thinking maybe if it's an area, if I need to make some money, what I'll often do is like sell the backup goalkeeper and then just replace him with some old out of contract player or something. But you'll have to keep him at least until January. But I think goalkeeper options, you're perfectly sorted. Longer term, obviously, you'll have to start thinking about it. But yeah, good stuff so far. Right back, we've got Kyle Norton. Can play right back and left back pretty much equally. He's a very good all-round player. He's decent going forward as well. Natural fitness is good, so he's going to run all day. What's his stamina's 15 as well. So yeah, he's never going to tire. Good teamwork. His technicals are a little bit on the low side. Tackling 13, marking 13, but going forward we've got dribbling 11, crossing 12. So he's a decent player all round. Definitely one for the squad, and it's really nice when players can fill those multiple positions. Then we've got Angel Rangel. Great name, one of my favourite names. He's 32 years old now, so he's getting on a bit. He's a decent player. His physical stats have started to drop now just due to his age. But he's still a decent player, kind of like Norton in that he's decent going forward as well. Again, not the best technicals, but a decent player. He's a decent squad player. So they're your two sort of options at right back. I think that's okay. Now at left back we have Neil Taylor, 26 years old. Great physicals, pacey, which is lovely. He's better defensively than he is going forward. He's got 15 tackling, 13 marking, and going forward his stats are 10 and 10 for crossing and dribbling. I'm just looking at the basic stats. Obviously there's other important stats as well to look at, but really good determination. His work rate's high, his teamwork is good. Really good team player. I like him. I rate him quite highly. States that he's not going to improve too much being at 26. Scouts rate him as a 3-star. And remember, the 3-star is compared to the rest of your team. But yeah, I think he's quite a decent player. Next, we've got Frank Taberneau. He must be a new signing. I've never heard his name in my life. Yep, he is a new signing. This guy is much more of a winger. You can see his marking 7, his tackling 7. Injury crisis, yeah, play him at left back. Or wing back, you could play him, but you still need to work on his defensive a bit. But he's definitely much more of a winger option. But he's not a bad player. 26 years old, he's coming into his peak now. So you are a little bit weak at left back. If we take Taberneau out and just say he's a left winger, then we really only have Neil Taylor and then Carl Norton as the backup. But he's also possibly first choice right back. So that's definitely an area that needs strengthening. Next, we'll move on to the centre-backs. So we've got Ashley Williams. Absolute, we all know about him. I won't go into too much detail. He's a quality defender. 30 years old now, so longer term. Next couple of years, you'll need to look to replace him, but absolute beast of a defender. He'll be your first choice. Then we have Federico Fernandez, 26 years old. Yeah, decent plays. Marking's a little bit low. Pace is okay for a centre-back. Then never usually the paciest, but he's got good strength. Anticipation's good. He's got all the major stats. He's definitely a decent centre-back, and he'll last you the next few years. He's 26, so he's got a good few years left of him. And then we come on to Carl Bartley. He's your sort of backup, but he's a decent backup, actually. He's half decent. He's only 24 as well. Still could improve somewhat. Work rate's 15, determination's 15, which is nice. His main defensive stats: 15 heading, 14 marking, 14 tackling, decent pace. Yep, he's a decent backup, definitely. And Jordi Amat, 23 years old, so he's our youngest centre back, and he's probably the worst one. But he's okay as a backup. Bought him a couple of seasons ago. He's never really been a first team regular, but he's a decent backup. He's worth 7 million, so maybe that's where you could probably replace him with another centre back for a couple of million, I think, for those stats, and maybe then spend the rest on a left back or right back, depending on where you want to play Carl Norton. But he's a decent backup. I'll leave that up to you guys. So we've not got a bad defensive unit. Like I said, they probably need one extra wing back or full back, because Taberneau's not really a defender. Next we move on to the midfield. So we've got Jack Cork, 26 years old. He's a defensive midfielder by trade. Can also play centre mid. He's a little bit better at defensively than he is going forward. So I think probably defensive midfield duties would suit him best. But he's a decent player, 26 years old. Next we've got Leon Britton's got talent, and he's got amazing mentals. He's 32 now, so his physicals will start to drop off, but he's still decent. He's 13 pace, which is okay for central midfield. He's a defensive midfielder, but he likes playing deep line playmaker. You can play him centre midfield, which is probably a better move, especially if you're playing Jack Cork. Obviously, he is again better defensively than going forward, it seems. Don't let him ever take a long shot, because that's 5. But really good mentals. He's a good, what's his leadership's 12, so he's a decent sort of leader on the pitch as well, maybe even a sort of vice captain candidate. Ki Sung Young is a 26-year-old South Korean, decent all-rounder, can play equally well in midfield centre or defensive midfielder, runs with the ball, places shot, tries to play his way out of trouble, so maybe not so much in the defensive. That's not a great quality to have as a defensive player, could screw you over, but decent all-rounder, decent player. As I said, his tackling is not great and his marking is not great, so this one's definitely your more attacking of the central midfielders, but still a decent player. Then we've got Voldemort. I really like Voldemort in real life. He's quite funny. Decent all-rounder, cracking long shot. He's a centre midfielder. You can play. I might be tempted, depending on the other players we'll look at, but attacking midfielder might be a good position for him. He's still only 23, so he's got time to improve. So I think he'll be with you at the club for a long time. Nathan Dyer is out on loan. I'll let you discover those sort of players. Next up, maybe not attacking midfield, because we've got Gylfi Sigurdsson. I love this guy in Football Manager. He scores goals for fun. Play him as an attacking midfielder. He's an absolute beast. He's going to be one of the first names on the team sheet, and he's your set piece taker. Always nice to have. Then we've got Jay Fulton. He's one of the youngsters, 21 years old, central midfield, Scottish. He's okay. Not really, is he? He's a decent backup, given the cup game. I don't think he's going to improve massively. Work rate's 14, determination's 13. That's okay, but 21 years old now. I think he'll sort of struggle to get anywhere in the team. So overall, we've actually got a nice mix of the sort of spine of the central midfield. We've got a couple of defensive midfielders. We've got the likes of John Joe Shelby and Sung Young, who can play sort of central midfield, and then further up the pitch we've got Gylfi Sigurdsson, who's an absolute beast. And then maybe I'd retrain Shelby to also be able to play as his sort of backup, but play central midfield, but then can also fill in as an attacking midfielder if need be. So that's really nice. So we've been through Fabregas, who's a decent left winger, but next we'll go on to Wayne Routledge, 30 years old now, so again just starting to decline. Still really good pace, definitely good going forward. Good mentals, good flair. He's going to beat people, good off the ball, which is really nice. 15 dribbling, runs with the ball, so he likes to dribble. He's going to beat people. Says play best. He prefers the inside forward role. He's quite versatile. He can play anywhere across the front, really. But it's still a quality player, but just somebody you don't need to keep an eye on, because he will start to deteriorate. Andre Ayew, the new signing, very versatile, can play on both wings and down the middle if needed. I quite like him as a winger. He's got good pace. He's got decent enough pace. His dribbling's good. His crossing's really good. Great mentals. Absolute quality player. 25 years old. Can improve a little bit more as well. Can also take a penalty, which is nice. Yeah, absolute quality player. Jefferson Montero, 25 years old. Absolutely rapid. The rest of his physicals are good. His stamina's not great, so he's going to tire. And there's a few mentals that worry me just a little bit. Positioning's poor, but decision making and concentration, he might go missing in the odd game. He can't defend for shit, but that's okay. His dribbling's 15 and his crossing's 13, so he's a decent player. Scored a goal last season. Well done, Montero. He's worth 11 million, so it could be somebody that you might think about replacing if you wanted to bring in some money. Next up, we've got Mudu Barrow. Mudu Barrow, the Gambian, obviously. Absolutely rapid, and the rest of the stats are okay. But he's 22, so he can improve. But his work rate's 6, determination 8. He's never going to reach that high, I think. He's just probably, just because of his pace, it's somebody you can have on the bench and bring on just to cause some trouble. He went on loan to Nottingham Forest last season and barely got a game. I don't think he's ever sort of going to be your first choice. And then we have Marvin Emnes, did I say she was listed? So he's listed, but obviously you can take him off. You can keep him if you want to do that. Plays up top, but can also play left wing just fine. He's a decent left winger as well. His finishing is good as a striker. His first touch lets him down a little bit. Composure's okay. Off the ball's okay. Okay pace. He's alright. He's worth 3.5 million. If you're going to sell one, I might probably keep Emnes as your backup and maybe sell Montenegro because he's 11 million. But that's obviously up to you guys. And then up front we have Gomis, who I really like. He's plays as well as a complete forward or target man are his preferred roles. He's got great heading, finishing 15, first touch 13, composure's 12, off the ball's 15, decent enough pace, good balance, good strength. He can hold a player off. Yeah, really good player. I think he'll be your first choice. And then we've got Adair, who's FIFA legend. Adair plays best as a defensive forward, so that might complement Gomis well if you're playing 2 up top. And if you are playing 1 up top, he's a good backup. He's 27 years old now, so he's not really going to improve, but he's a decent all-rounder. Concentration decisions okay. Off the ball's 13, finishing's 13. Yeah, he's a decent player, valued at 7 million. I think if you were looking to play 2 up top, you definitely need to strengthen. Emnes is okay. Barrow's not great, so you definitely need to strengthen. And I think the other areas that we would need to look to is, as I said before, the fullback positions. Just need a bit more depth in there, really. But overall, it looks like a fun team to use. There's definitely some areas that you'll need to strengthen. A couple of older players that are going to... But average age is pretty decent for the Premiership, so... I've done lots of squad guides now, so the average age is pretty decent compared to some I've watched. I didn't realise Man City were also old. It's like an OAP home there, and they bought Sterling just to bring the average age down. But that about sums it up. I hope you enjoyed the guide and found it useful. Please let me know what you're doing with your Swansea save if you are doing one. Who is it you decided to sell to bring in that cash, and who you bought in. And I will be moving on to the next guide, which will be up in the next few hours. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me. I will see you in the next video. Oh, and check out my lead save. It's really good. I'm doing shit, but it's really good. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.